Vickers. Number 5, Max Greenberg. Number 10, Devin Jang. Number 13, Isaiah Valdez. And number 21, Christian Bruder. Assistant coach, Tommy Mushandu. Head coach, Adam Schrader. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to East Gymnasium at Fort Lee High School. The setting for tonight's Big North American Division League contest between the visiting Dwight Morrow Maroon Raiders and your Fort Lee Bridgemen. Dwight Morrow 2-1 in league play. Fort Lee behind them 1-2 in the American Division. Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by my producer Dimitri Nanis and our camera operator Renee Matisich. So glad that you could join us for our broadcast coverage here exclusively on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Fort Lee's going to be in their home black and orange, while Dwight Morrow is in their road white and maroon, and we are underway here from East Gymnasium. Both teams split the two matchups a season ago. Fort Lee, with their win, it was courtesy of a forfeit victory, so they did not actually play here. The last time that these two actually met was last January 17th in Englewood. Dwight Morrow won 74-59. That loose ball tie-up with the possession arrow, giving it back over to Dwight Morrow, and here come the Maroon Raiders. First time on offense, 7-4, led by Andre Hampton, the head coach. Three-pointer off the mark. Guy Vickers with the rebound. Adam Schrager in his sixth season here at Fort Lee has led the Bridgemen to a 4-8 overall record. Christian Bruden's three, no good from long range. Terrell Griffiths getting it off to the near side. That corner three off the top of the backboard, no good. And eventually it pinballs its way back into the hands of Damani Williams. And Williams starts us off with the first 2 points of the evening. Cold evening outside. Got snow and ice all throughout the course of the day. Nice and dry and warm inside East Gymnasium here. Here's Vickers, first experience taking on Dwight Morrow. Missed a layup attempt inside. Follow-up attempt also missed off the mark and knocked over into the hands of Maurice Williams. Fort Lee has started off cold from the outside here today. Corner three ball, that one is blocked by Vickers. Found inside for loose change by Maurice Williams. That time the block actually trickled its way inside to Williams, and the junior with the lay-in. It's a 4-0 lead for Dwight Morrow. Valdez getting it to Bruden. Bruden trying to drop it down low to Vickers. Bruden getting it right back to Vickers. Quick passing around the side. Max Greenberg missed that shot on the running floater attempt. Goes out of bounds off of Fort Lee. And again, the Bridgemen Still ice cold from the outside, yet to convert on a field goal opportunity yet in this game. 2 minutes into the start of this first quarter. Cliffside Park sits atop the league standings in the Big North America Division with a perfect 3-0 divisional mark. Dumont and Dwight Morrow each tied for second with 2-1 records, and Fort Lee 1-2 in fourth place. Ridgefield Park winless, 0-4 in league play. That pass was trying to be saved back by Williams and was stolen away by Devin Jang. Valdez took his man off the dribble, but that was thunderously rejected out of bounds. It'll stay with Fort Lee as Bruden will come out and Jacob Greenberg will come in. Here's Devin Jang, the shooter, in the corner. His three rattles in and out. Dwight Morrow looking to push the pace down the other way. Transition layup, no good. Valdez tipped it out, knocked it out of bounds. So it'll be possession staying on this end of the floor for Dwight Morrow, but they miss on a layup attempt with 5:13 left to go in the first quarter. Elijah Thenor was the man who was trying to get that layup and trying to save it from going in the backcourt. Eventually led to a turnover as it went back to Devin Jang. So both teams a little sloppy in the early goings. Jang has that one pinned against the glass. No entry right now. That's the second block of this first quarter for the Dwight Morrow defense. Long distance three off the back iron, no good. Tracked down by Maurice Williams. Williams sets and fires. A deep ball, no good. Vickers tips it out to himself for another rebound. Guy Vickers averaging just under 10 rebounds per game this season for Fort Lee, as Max Greenberg has that deflected out of bounds. Lucky for him that it went off of a Dwight Morrow defender last. Jang over to the near side of Valdez. Jacob Greenberg up top to Guy Vickers. Vickers has had the best opportunities. Here's Devin Jang from deep. He knew it. He was fading away after he unleashed that three. That's what Devin Jang does so well. A three-point shot gets Fort Lee on the board, and that deficit is trimmed down to 1, 4-3. Coming up on the midway point of the first quarter. Low-scoring affair in this first matchup of the season between these two longtime rivals, as Maurice Williams is fouled heading to the rim, and that'll send him to the charity stripe, shooting 2 foul shots with 3:59 left to go in this first quarter of play. Jang had 16 points against Cliffside Park in a recent matchup. Devin opening his scoring account here with that three ball. And Williams knocks in the first foul shot of the game. Maurice Williams had 9 points last night in a game for Dwight Morrow. A loss against Patterson Kennedy. They lost 76-53 in Patterson. Valdez being watched by Elijah Thenor. Valdez being hounded the whole way, and eventually it's going to be a foul whistled on the bump. That'll be the first personal foul against Thenor. First team foul as well for Dwight Morrow here in the first quarter. Each team has committed only 1 foul apiece. Here's Jang. Nearly lost that possession. Now gets it into the corner. Jacob Greenberg down low in the near block to Vickers. Vickers swings the ball around back to Jacob Greenberg. Feeds inside. Guy Vickers being a little reluctant to shoot right now for whatever reason. Devin Jang, top of the arc, and another three. Gets the shooter's roll as it rattles off the rim and then back down in. Second three of the game for Devin. He's got all 6 Fort Lee points. It's a 6-0 Bridgman run. Williams, high off the glass and in. Nice take there. Maurice Williams now with 5 points, and Dwight Morrow takes back the lead at 7-6. Full court pressure being administered by the Maroon Raiders. Max Greenberg feeding Guy Vickers down the middle of the lane again. Did not elect to take it, and Max Greenberg gets called for the traveling call. 2:43 left to go in the first. 7-6 lead for Dwight Morrow. Vickers has had his opportunities here. I know that he missed on a couple of in-tight shots to start up the game, but he's got the clear height advantage against any defender in Dwight Morrow. You have to see him try to attack aggressively the rim. That'll open up the outside shooting for Fort Lee. That's a tie-up and eventually leads to a traveling violation against Dwight Morrow. Good defense here in the first quarter for Coach Adam Schrager's Bridgman. Fort Lee will inbound, again down only one, 7-6. The problem all season long for Fort Lee has been their inability to score and score easily. Defense has been there. They've allowed only 48.9 points per game to opponents. And there's another traveling call against Dwight Morrow. The problem for Coach Schrager, while his team is allowing less than 50 points a game to the opposition, they're only averaging 44 points per game themselves on offense. As Greenberg will inbound it into the backcourt to Devin Chang. His pair of threes account for the 6 points in his first quarter of action. Vickers on top of the arc, now getting it over Max Greenberg. Isaiah Valdez from deep. And Isaiah Valdez strokes the three. His first 3 points of the game. Fort Lee has knocked down 3 triples so far in the first quarter. 9-7 lead for the home team. One-on-one move right to the rim, E.J. Maxwell. Maxwell's first 2 points. We're tied up at 9-9 as we're coming up with the final 90 seconds of the first quarter. Greenberg getting out of trouble. Cross-court pass to his brother Jacob. Trying to feed Vickers. It's stolen away, though. Here's the opportunity with the emphatic one-hand flush. It's Maurice Williams. Williams with a game-high 7 points for Dwight Morrow. And Dwight Morrow now on top of Fort Lee 11-9. Valdez leaving off for Max Greenberg. High arcing three, the 4th three of the first quarter for Fort Lee. Good assist that time by Valdez. Greenberg knocks down the triple. Fort Lee back in front. There's the steal by Valdez. Isaiah Valdez in the open floor. Gets it to Vickers. Vickers got caught up in the air, threw it away to Maxwell. Helter-skelter play in the last couple of possessions. Both teams just trying to push the pace as much as they can, and a foul is going to be whistled against Fort Lee with the clock stopped with 47.5 seconds left to go in the first. Looks like the foul might have been against Max Greenberg. His first, team second. It's been a well-played first quarter for both teams. Not a lot of fouling. Good penetration inside by Damani Williams. Fort Lee fell asleep on the baseline and allowed Williams to cut inside the zone. Williams now trying to tip it to himself and does. Forces the steal. Up and under move. Layup is good for Courtney Howell. And after Fort Lee took the lead at 12-11, it's been 4 in a row by Dwight Morrow. 15-12 lead for the Maroon Raiders. Devin Jang being hounded here, heading to this final possession of the first quarter. Jang getting it to Jacob Greenberg, open for three, no good. Vickers with the offensive rebound, swatted away by Williams. 0.3 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and Maurice Williams has made his presence felt on both ends of the floor here in the first quarter. Can't be enough for just catch and shoot, as the buzzer will sound before Vickers can even get that shot up. And an entertaining 8 minutes in the books, as Fort Lee will trail after 1 quarter of play, 15-12, as you're watching all the action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, the law offices of Mark Sokolich, as well as Fort Lee SC. 15-12, Dwight Morrow on top of Fort Lee as we head to the second quarter of action here from East Gym in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Good matchup between the Maroon Raiders and the Bridgmen, first of two meetings this season. They will meet again on February 8th in Englewood. Valdez, who had 3 points in that first quarter, going high, trying to get it off the glass. Offensive putback that time, no good by Neve Murray. Just came into the game for the first time. Williams lets the defender fly by him. Ricochets that one off the side of the rim, out of bounds. This will be an inbound upcoming now for the Bridgmen. Valdez getting it into the hands of Jang. Jang being watched every step of the way by Courtney Howell. Vickers has to help out Jang. Jang leaving it off for Bruden, and Bruden gets bumped on the play. That'll be the first foul of the second quarter against Dwight Morrow. That foul will go against Howell, his first, team's first of the second. And a sub will be made. DeAndre Wright, number 15, will come into the game for the first time for Dwight Morrow, who had their two-game win streak snapped in their last game yesterday. He's playing as part of the Freedom Fighters tournament event. In Patterson, Devin Chang shot no good. Rebounded by Dwight Morrow. Quick outlet down the other way. It's going to be a foul and one. Continuation granted that time to Maurice Williams after Fort Lee was trying to swipe at the ball when Williams was making his entry to the rim. That's going to be the second personal foul against Isaiah Valdez. So foul concerns for one of Fort Lee's leaders. And Williams with a chance to get to double figures, and does as he nails the foul shot. He's got 10 points. Almost matching the total for Fort Lee. 18-12, Dwight Morrow on top. They've gone on a 7-0 run since the waning moments of the first quarter. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Manisic, thanks for joining us in the Fort Lee Athletics broadcast channel. A long-range two by Devin Chang. His foot was on the line. Devin is up to 8 points in this game. Hounding defense now right in front of us by Fort Lee, trying to get the loose ball. And they're going to say that with that hustle play by Valdez, he was out of bounds on the play. So possession will go back over to Dwight Morrow. 6:40 left to go in the first half. 4-point lead for the visitors. Long range three, no good that time by Xavion Hunt. Number 21 had himself a ball game in the losing effort against Kennedy last night. Put up 18 points off the Maroon Raider bench. Knocked down 3 threes in the process. Howell trying to skip it up top. Bruden anticipated that and stole it away. Bruden nearly gets his pocket pick from behind. Gets it to Vickers. Vickers got to get going here. No points so far in this game for Guy. Looks for the outlet, gets it up top to Valdez. Trying to feed inside to Vickers, tipped away by DeAndre Wright. Another turnover for Fort Lee on offense. There's a long-range three again, no good. Wright now tracking down the offensive rebound. Williams allows the defender to fly by him, and then he gets hip-checked a bit. Clipped as he was trying to penetrate inside, and it'll be another foul against Fort Lee. Looks like it might have been against Christian Bruden, who again just used his hip to initiate the contact. Devin Jang will get a much-needed breather. That will be a foul against Bruden, his first, team second of the quarter. A three, no good that time by Fenor. Another offensive rebound on this possession. And finally, Fort Lee able to track down the rebound, but they give it right back up. Leading shot on the baseline, no good. There's a lid on the rim right now for Dwight Morrow, but their hustle has been leading to 4 or 5 different offensive rebounds on this long sustained possession. 5:24 left to go in the first half. Worked around a long-range three is good this time. Finally, it drops for Xavier Hunt. Hunt with his first 3 points of the game. 21-14 lead now for Dwight Morrow. Max Greenberg picks up the dribble, giving off to Isaiah Valdez. Valdez with the right hand gets the lay-in. First points of the second quarter for Valdez. He's got 5. Down the other way, Vickers timed it perfectly with the swat out of bounds. And now a couple of subs being made by Coach Schrager with 4:46 left to go in the second quarter. 21-16 lead for Dwight Morrow. Devin Jang trying to force the steal, got deflected off of his hands last, so it allows Dwight Morrow to head back into the backcourt to retrieve the possession. That time, good job of double teaming, and it's going to be Guy Vickers forcing the steal. Coach Schrager sensing that maybe a turnover was about to happen, called for the timeout to save possession for his team with 4:26 left to go here in the second quarter. Again, thank you to our proud Fort Lee Bridgman Athletic sponsors. The law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. Well, Fort Lee went on a run near the end of the first quarter. Actually took at that point a 12-11 advantage, but since that point, Dwight Morrow went on a 7-0 run. Fort Lee finally getting a couple of baskets here going their way in the second quarter, but they've been held to only 4 points as we're approaching the midway point of the second quarter. But they're still in striking distance, down by 5, 21-16. As Valdez handing it off now to Devin Jang. Jang, the leading scorer for the Bridgmen, with 8 here in the first half. Trying to feed the big man and Guy Vickers, and it's going to be a reach-in foul from behind against Dwight Morrow. That foul went against DeAndre Wright. Wright, that is his first foul, team second. Both teams with only 2 fouls committed apiece here in this second quarter of action. Jang with the left-hand dribble. Being watched this time by Terrell Griffiths. Looking for the backdoor layup attempt. Jang contacted at the rim. It was deemed to be clean. Blocked cleanly out of bounds. Will be still possession here for Fort Lee. Coach Schrager is pleading his case, saying that his leading scorer should have gotten some credit. Jang open in the corner for 3. Devin Jang, his third 3 of the first half. He's got 11 points to pace the offense for the Bridgmen, who are back to within 2, 21-19. Jang has 11. Maurice Williams on this side has 10 for Dwight Morrow. They're the leading scorers in tonight's game. Here is Williams, turn around inside the foul line, no good. Greenberg not able to box out initially, and then after that secondary shot, a rebound by Vickers. Max getting it to his brother Jacob, into the corner, dumped down low to Guy Vickers, tries to turn, initiate the contact, got fouled. We'll see if it's going to be deemed in the act of shooting. If so, then Guy is going to head to the line to shoot 2. And it is deemed to be a shooting foul, second consecutive foul against DeAndre Wright, the sophomore big man who came into this game off the bench. So now it's a chance for Guy Vickers to pull a little closer. Missed on his first foul shot attempt. Vickers, 16 points, 10 rebounds in that recent loss here at home against Cliffside Park. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. It's a 1-point game. Fort Lee making a run here. High arcing three is knocked in the near side by Xavier Hunt. His second three of the quarter. He's got 6 off the bench. Valdez having that one spin in and out. Vickers tipping it out to himself. Up top, straight ahead. Here's Valdez, no good on the three. Vickers with the putback, it's good. He's starting to take over inside with his height advantage. Guy Vickers with the last 3 unanswered points for Fort Lee has pulled the Bridgemen back to within 2, 24-22 with 2:37 left to go in the second quarter. Passed over to the far side. And a traveling call against Dwight Morrow. Moving a little too quickly there, so the full court pressure starting to get to the Maroon Raiders. And gives now the possession back over to Fort Lee with a chance to tie or even take the lead, as they have had the ability to knock down threes in this game. They've connected on 4 threes here in the first half. Max Greenberg getting it up top to Devin Chang. Chang with a couple jab steps, spinning around. Chang getting it up top to Jacob Greenberg. Down underneath to Max, and the layup is no good, as that's knocked out of bounds. And it'll be possession now for Dwight Morrow. Now there's a stoppage here. I don't know if there's an unruly fan. So a stoppage right now, as it looks like what's going on over down where a couple things have to be attended to right now here with 1:57 left to go in the second quarter. 24-22 lead for Dwight Morrow on top of Fort Lee. Again, these two sides will renew acquaintances in the second to last game of the season for Dwight Morrow, and what will be the regular season finale for Fort Lee on February 8th in Englewood. The last game that was actually played here in East Gymnasium came on January 4th of 2022. Fort Lee won that matchup 57-34. Last year, Fort Lee lost on the road at Dwight Morrow 74-59, but then won by forfeit, officially 2-0 last year in what was supposed to be the home matchup. So the first time since 2022 that both teams are actually playing a game here at East Gymnasium. Good crowd here tonight. Floating shot across the near side. That's taken in by Terrell Griffiths. 26-22. .90 seconds remaining in the first half. Greenberg right to the rim. Again, left it short, but Guy Vickers cleans it up. Got fouled, and now Vickers should be heading to the line once again, where he is 1 of 2 here this evening. Vickers with 3 points, all 3 of which coming here in the second quarter. Now up to 4 points in the game. Vickers had a season best 24 points, 13 rebound performance on the road at Mahwah. He has shown to be a great addition to this Fort Lee basketball program this season after transferring in from Bergen Catholic after playing his first 2 seasons in Oradell. Unforced error there as it deflected off of Dwight Morrow, as now it's going to be possession going back over to Fort Lee. Closing into the final minute of the first half, Valdez got stripped on his way to the hoop. Went out of bounds, last touch off of the Maroon Raiders. And possession will stay on this end of the floor with Fort Lee. Bridgemen have yet to take a lead here in the second quarter after leading for a couple of moments in the first quarter. Devin Chang, step back jumper. Oh, beautiful! Did not even hit iron. Devin Jang with a step back J. He's got 13, and this game is knotted up at 26 all. There's another careless turnover. Devin goes in for the transition two. Jang up to 15 points now in the first half. And Fort Lee has taken the lead at 28-26, coming up on the final 40 seconds of the second quarter. And that's going to be a bump foul against Fort Lee. Will be the team's third foul, so still not in the bonus is Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee with one more foul to give, but that was a big foul because it went against Valdez. And for Isaiah, that is his third personal foul. Dwight Morrow would be wise to try to isolate against number 13 now. Drive and dish. We're thinking about the threes. Williams, off balance, running jump shot, no good. Tipped around on the baseline and out of bounds. Maxwell tried his best to save it in play. Now Fort Lee will get the ball back, leading 28-26 with 24 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Noah Garib will come into the game now, as Coach Schrager will send Valdez to the bench with his 3 fouls. Devin Chang, once again hounded by Howell. Shadowed every step of the way. Fort Lee holds for the final possession of the first half. Coming up on 10 seconds left to go. Howell trying to get close for a 5 count. Chang, great dribbling, beat him one-on-one. Scoop shot, no good. Vickers with a putback, also no good. Fights again and is fouled with only 0.6 seconds left to go before halftime. And once again, Guy Vickers will head to the foul line with a chance for 2 points just before halftime. Vickers is closing in on potentially 10 rebounds in this first half alone. And he switches home the foul shot. He's been making his money at the line where he's connected on his last 4 in a row. He's 4 for 5. And there's the broadcaster jinx in full effect. No good, and a baseball shot attempt on the other end was off the mark, that time by Williams. But that'll end an exciting finish to the second quarter. Fort Lee will take a 3-point lead into halftime here at East Gymnasium, 29-26. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for more action to kick us off in the start of the second half of play as you're watching all this exclusive Fort Lee basketball action here, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletics Department on YouTube. Welcome back, everybody, here at halftime as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half here at East Gymnasium. Fort Lee on top of Dwight Morrow by a score of 29-26. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic. Thank you so much for joining us here on YouTube, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. Taking a look at the stats from the first half of play. Leading scorer for Dwight Morrow was junior big man Maurice Williams. 10 points for number 13 in white and maroon. Second leading scorer off the bench, Xavier Hunt, who knocked down a pair of threes in that second quarter to pace him with 6 points in the first half. Leading scorer for Fort Lee and the leading scorer so far in the game is Devin Chang. Devin has knocked in 15 points and is connected on 3 threes in the first 16 minutes of action. Isaiah Valdez with 5. Guy Vickers with all 6 of his points coming primarily at the line in that second quarter. Vickers on his way to another double-double performance here tonight. Valdez, though, picked up 3 personal fouls in that first half. So he's got to play smart here if he's going to be on the floor to start off this second half of play, as he is playing in foul trouble. Dwight Morrow knocked in only 2 threes in that first half. 5 made threes by Fort Lee. Dwight Morrow 2 of 3 at the foul line, while Fort Lee went 4 of 6 with all 6 attempts, courtesy of Guy Vickers. Fort Lee looking to even their league record here today. They pick up a win, they go to 2-2, tying Dwight Morrow 2-2 in the division. Again, Cliffside Park sits atop the league standings right now, a perfect 3-0 in divisional action. Dumont and Dwight Morrow 2-1, Fort Lee 1-2, and Ridgefield Park at the bottom of the standings right now, 0-4 in league play. Again, taking a look at the North 2 Group 3 power points. Fort Lee right now would be on the outside looking in at the playoffs if the playoffs started today. Bridgman ranking 18th overall in the PowerPoint groups with 126 power points, 11 behind the last team that would qualify for the playoffs, which would be number 16 Chatham. So a win here would go a very long way for Fort Lee to possibly qualify to play in the state postseason. South Plainfield, the number 1 ranked team right now in North 2 Group 3 with 266 power points. So we're ready to resume play to start the second half. Fort Lee in their home black with the orange numerals outlined in whites. Dwight Morrow in their road white uniforms with the maroon numerals outlined in black. So we're underway here at the start of the second half. Dwight Morrow outscored Fort Lee 15-12 in the first quarter. Fort Lee outscored Dwight Morrow 17-11 in the second. Maurice Williams was double teamed and nearly a steal was produced by Max Greenberg. Instead, it leads to a tip out of bounds. Possession will stay with Dwight Morrow. Fort Lee trying to make it another win here at home against the Maroon Raiders. In-time shot there. Wide open was Elijah Thanor for his first points of the game. It's a 3. 29-29. The game is now tied. And a steal produced by Howell leads to the 2 points, and it's a 5-0 run to start off this third quarter for Dwight Morrow. And the visitors have taken back the lead, trying to speed up Fort Lee in the open court. Bruden sidestepping a defender, and he got clipped on his way to the rim. That's going to be a foul. Don't know if it's going to be deemed in the act of shooting. It is. Very generous call there, as I did not even see a shot attempt by Bruden, and I think Andre Hampton, the head coach of Dwight Morrow, agrees with my assessment. There was no clear shot, but they give Bruden the basketball anyway. Bruden will misfire in the first foul shot attempt. Christian Bruden, 5'9" sophomore guard, has become a starter in this lineup for Coach Schrager, brings a toughness, an edge to his game, but he misfires on both foul shots, trying to track down the loose ball rebound, can't. Dwight Morrow trying to get down the floor quickly. Here's Howell, handing it off, and kissing it off the glass was Williams. A 7-0 start to this third quarter now for Dwight Morrow. and their lead has increased to 4, 33-29. Vickers getting it over to Bruton. Bruton might have gotten away with an extra step. Valdez across the lane, and he got fouled, and that looks like he'll be going to the foul line as well. This time, that was much more clearly a shot opportunity for Isaiah Valdez. Foul was charged against Maurice Williams, his first, team's second, as Valdez is a great foul shooter. Knocks in the foul shot, 6 points on the night now for Isaiah, the 6'1 senior. Rattles in a pair. First 2 points of the second half for Fort Lee. They're back to within 2, 33-31. Chance of defense emanating from the fans here inside East Gym. Pull-up jumper in front of Vickers, no good. That time for Damani Williams. Good rebound by Valdez. Max Greenberg had Devin Jang open in the corner for 3, just couldn't see him in time. Greenberg, high-low, inside of Vickers. Couple defenders flying by and then hitting Vickers in the act of shooting, and the fouls are starting to pile up. Just 2 minutes into the start of this third quarter, and Dwight Morrow already has committed 3 team fouls. The Nord picks up his third personal. And Vickers missing on that first foul shot opportunity. 4 of 7 at the line now is Guy Vickers. 6 points in this game. Vickers missing on a pair. So Fort Lee has gotten to the line to start off this third quarter, but they've not made the most of it. In transition, nice mid-range jumper by Maxwell. He's got 4. Full court pressure again, 35-31. Fort Lee gets across midcourt. Greenberg down low to Bruton. Nice dish inside and the finish. Greenberg with a great facilitating going on there. Quickly with the bounce pass in stride, found Bruton, who spun around his defender for the 2. Good closeout by Bruton that time on the jump shot by Williams. Here comes Max Greenberg in the open floor. Feeds Vickers. Great dime. Drop down to Vickers for the 2. Greenberg with a couple of beautiful assists on the back-to-back plays. This game is tied 35-35. Up top to Williams. Williams dropping it down low to Maurice Williams. That's tipped away. Maurice Williams got fouled, and if that's a foul against Valdez, he's going to have to sit. That is his 4th personal foul with 5 minutes left to go in the third. And that is an enormous foul at this juncture of the game. One of the best players for Coach Schrager's Fort Lee Bridgman has to take a seat, as he is 1 foul away from fouling out of this game. That's why that third foul he picked up late in the second quarter was so costly. Maurice Williams handing it off. Maxwell pulls up inside the lane, no good. Fights with his teammate for the loose ball, comes away with the offensive rebound. Maurice Williams, 3-point line extended. Dribble drive, nice shot and finish. Maurice Williams up to 14 points in the game, leading scorer for Dwight Morrow. He's given the Maroon Raiders back the advantage. Devin Jang couldn't corral that pass. Turnover, Maurice Williams stuffed by the rim, just caught himself a little too deep. Follow-up attempt, and Maurice Williams finishes it inside. 16 points for Maurice Williams. He's got 4 in a row, and a timeout taken by Coach Adam Schrager. And Fort Lee with 4:22 left to go in the third quarter. Dwight Morrow extends its lead back to a 4-point variety, 39-35. I'd like to thank again all of our proud sponsors, as you see on your screen there, including the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. 39-35, Dwight Morrow on top. They trailed by 3 at halftime. Came out with the first 7 unanswered points of this second half. And have responded after Fort Lee went on a run to tie it up at 35 with 4 unanswered points, all courtesy of Maurice Williams, who now has the most points out of any player in this game with 16. Devin Jang at 15 to the half. Here he is now, yet to open up his scoring account in the second half. Williams with the interception, forces the turnover. Turnover starting to really play a big part in this third quarter. Fort Lee getting a little sloppy, running 1-footer, that time by Howell. Tracked down in the corner, though, by Dwight Morrow. They're doing all the hustle plays. Gets back to Howell, and he gets it to drop. 6 points for Courtney Howell, the senior guard. Largest lead of the game now as Vickers has that one tip off his fingertips, but then when Howell tracked it down, he was stepping out of bounds on the baseline right in front of our broadcast area. And that'll lead to a turnover and possession upcoming now for Fort Lee. 3:43 left to go in the third quarter. Fort Lee once again struggling offensively. Have only produced 6 points so far in this entire third quarter. Max Greenberg getting it up top. Looking for the 3 and getting it. Nave Murray. Nave Murray getting the 3 right off the bench. Fort Lee using the 3-point shot in full effect here tonight. They had 5 threes in the first half, now 6 in this game after Murray's 3 here in the third. Greenberg to Jang, another 3, got it! Another assist from Max Greenberg, another 3 by Devin Jang, and a rejection on the other end of the floor by Guy Vickers. Momentum has shifted, and it's now on the home team sideline. What a run, a 6-0 run here by the Bridgemen. 41-41, 3 minutes left to go in the third quarter. What a fun one here from East Gymnasium on a cold January night. The play starting to heat up here between these league rivals. Maurice Williams, contended shot, deflected a bit. Last touch out of bounds off of Williams and Dwight Morrow. Possession goes back over to Fort Lee. Max Greenberg has been great as an assist artist in this quarter. Guy Vickers with a running shot on the right side of the rim, no good. Here is a long-range 3, no good by the Maroon Raiders as Hunt was trying to knock down his third triple. Howell across the lane, driving and finding Williams on the lower block for the easy 2. Maurice Williams with 18. Dwight Morrow back in front. Greenberg gets his pocket pick, leads to the breakout. Here's a layup the other way for Courtney Howell. Howell with 6 of his 8 points here in the third quarter. 45-41. Every time that Fort Lee has tied it up, there's been an immediate response by Dwight Morrow to not surrender the lead themselves. A reach-in foul that time against Hunt. That'll be the 4th team foul against Dwight Morrow, so they have no more fouls to give in this third quarter. 1:57 remaining on the clock. Every subsequent foul will now send Fort Lee to the line shooting 2. Jang shifting gears, gets it across midcourt. Devin, step back jumper, no good. Vickers fights for the loose ball, squirts around, and eventually is secured by Maurice Williams. Howell in the open floor, sidesteps the defender, goes with the left hand off the glass, no good. Stuffing attempt again, no good. Vickers got a piece of it. Greenberg, right down the middle of the lane, hands it off to Guy Vickers. And one opportunity upcoming. Vickers up to 10 points in the game, and Max Greenberg, I think unofficially, with about 4 or 5 assists in this third quarter alone. He has been excellent as the field general here. And the floor general for Fort Lee. Noah Garib will come on to try to steal a couple of minutes as Max Greenberg gets a breather. Vickers rolls in the foul shot. He's got 11, 3-point play, makes this a 1-point game, 45-44. 1:15 left to go in the third quarter. Hands in the passing lane. Vickers comes away with it. And a traveling call against Murray. Murray was trying to kind of see out of the side of his eye, a defender closing in on him. Because of that, he took an extra step. Max Greenberg with the briefest of water breaks for him. He is right back out onto the floor. We close in on the final minute of the third quarter. What a great game here tonight. Fort Lee and Dwight Morrow locking horns. Maxwell, high floater, air ball on the baseline. Rebounded underneath by Max Greenberg. Greenberg looking for an outlet, gets it to Devin Jang. Fort Lee with a chance to retake the lead. Jang underneath to Vickers. Vickers tries to initiate the contact rather than going straight up. Williams did not foul him. Comes away out of the pack with the ball, and now it's going to be 35 seconds coming up here in the quarter. Williams short on the jumper. Greenberg, long outlet, finds Devin Jang. Jang gets the lay-in. Contact, no call. Devin Jang up to 20 points in the game. Fort Lee back in front, 46-45. 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Fort Lee crowd chanting for defense here. Dwight Morrow trying to hold for one final shot of the quarter. Xavier Hunt. Lot of shake and bake, high arcing three, no good. Tipped around, out of bounds. Last touch off of Dwight Morrow. All that fancy dribbling and nothing to show for it there for Hunt. Greenberg did not move as that leads now to an opportunity here. 1.2 seconds left to go in the quarter. Inside, and it's going to be no opportunity to unleash a shot there as time expires in the third quarter. And Fort Lee will take the lead back, 46-45 over Dwight Morrow as we head to a break. And again, a thank you to our Fort Lee Bridgman athletic sponsors, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. (46-45). Fort Lee in front now of Dwight Morrow. And one has been an excellent game between these longtime rivals. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisich, thanks for joining us here on YouTube on a cold night in January. Nice feed underneath to Guy Vickers. Vickers up to 13 points. If he hasn't done so already, had a double-double as well. He's been a dynamic force on the boards. He blocked that shot from behind. Here comes Isaiah Valdez back into the game. Has to be careful playing with 4 fouls. Back to Valdez for 3. No good. On the weak side, a rebound into the hands of Devin Jang. Jang across the lane. Lost the handle. Gets it to Max Greenberg. Back up top to Devin Jang. Jang with 20 points. Getting inside to Vickers. Vickers turns and fires. Misses. Follows his own miss. And one! Guy Vickers with a quick 4 points to start off the fourth quarter. And Fort Lee with their largest lead of the game at 5, 50-45. Vickers missing on the foul shot, so he'll have to settle just for the 2 points there. He's up to 15 points in the game. Largest lead of the game for Fort Lee. It's a 5-point margin. Three-pointer contested, short, and a foul underneath, and it looks like it might be a foul. Staying here against Fort Lee, and if it's against Valdez, then he has fouled out of this game, and sadly, For the Fort Lee faithful, that is the case against their senior. Valdez fouls out of this game with 6:48 left to go and 7 points. How does Fort Lee get to the finish line now without one of their best players on the floor? Running shot, no good. Bruden does his job on the glass, pulls down the rebound. Down to the near side comes Devin Jang. Jang across the lane. Running shot, gets all of the rim and falls. 22 points now for Devin Jang. First 2 points of the fourth quarter. 7-point lead for the Bridgemen. And it looks like it's going to be another foul inside against Fort Lee. Foul goes against Jacob Greenberg, his first, team second. Maurice Williams camped out in the lane, rattles in the mid-range jumper. Nobody came out to defend him. Williams now up to 20 points on the night. 52-47. Max Greenberg gets called for the travel. He's looking incredulously at the official right in front of us, thinking that there was a little contact before that third and fourth step was taken. Turnover instead. Ball was loose and coughed right back up. Now Vickers getting it to Jacob Greenberg. Greenberg across the lane, tried to quickly get it to Bruden. Couldn't fit it in between a couple of defenders. That leads to the breakout the other way. The uncontested layup for Thenor. Lead is down to 3, 52-49. 4-0 run here for Dwight Morrow. Under 5.5 minutes left to go in regulation. Max Greenberg losing the possession. Last touch off of Courtney Howell. Howell has been doing a great job against Greenberg the last couple of possessions. Up and under, reverse layup by Jang, no good. That would have been an acrobatic finish. Howell in the open floor. Hesitates, up and under. Oh, sensational finish for Courtney Howell. A finger roll with plenty of English on the basketball, and it's a 6-0 run by Dwight Morrow. And now a foul against Courtney Howell as he was blanketing both Devin Jang and Max Greenberg the last couple of possessions. That foul goes against the Maroon Raiders. That'll be their second team foul, and for Howell, that is his fourth personal. So a concern now for Courtney Howell, the best on-ball defender for Coach Andre Hampton. He's one foul away from having his night come to a close. 52-51. This has been a heavyweight fight. Back and forth, both teams, not a lot of separation between them. Devin Jang across the lane, blocked as he went with the left hand. Here's Maurice Williams triggering the fast break the other way. Down to Maxwell. Dwight Morrow has gone on a run. An 8-0 spurt to take back the lead. 53-52. And a timeout on the floor with 4:31 left to go in regulation. Don't go anywhere, fans. A fun one here in the American Division here tonight on YouTube. This house has been rocking here tonight. It's been a great game. Both teams have been trading the lead back and forth. Dwight Morrow has led by as many as 6. Fort Lee just a couple of moments ago led by as many as 7. But Dwight Morrow has gone on an 8-0 run to take back the lead at 53-52. As we still have plenty of time to sort out who will come away with this league win. Dwight Morrow trying to still keep pace with Cliffside Park, one game behind them in the league rankings, while Fort Lee trying to even their league record at 2-2 with a win here tonight. 4:31 left to go in the fourth quarter. Max Greenberg with Maxwell now draped all over him. Greenberg has been the leading assist artist in this game for Fort Lee, looking to drop it down low. Gets another opportunity to Vickers, and Vickers gets fouled on his way up. Guy Vickers will once again head back to the foul line to shoot a pair. Vickers is 5 for 9 at the foul line in this game. And he rolls that one in, 6 for 10, 16 points for Guy. At 16 points in a recent home game against Cliffside Park. Ties the score at 53 all. Now a chance to give Fort Lee back the lead. And he can't. Missed on that foul shot. 6 of 11, and then quickly, maybe a little too quickly, Dwight Morrow throws it out of bounds for a turnover. 4:09 left to go in the fourth quarter. Up top to Bruden. High-low, tries to get it to Vickers. Just too high for the 6'5 junior. Both teams turning it over at a high clip here. 3:55 left to go in regulation. 53-53. It was a 46-45 lead for Fort Lee after 3 quarters. Dwight Morrow has committed 3 team fouls here in the fourth. 2 team fouls against Fort Lee. Damani Williams backing it all the way out, and a long-range air ball in the 3-point attempt by Thenor. .333 left to go in regulation. Greenberg bringing it up the floor. Greenberg dumping it down low to Jacob, his brother. Try to reverse it out to no man's land. Here's Vickers. Can't move his pivot foot, looks for the outlet. Tough bounce pass attempt in the middle of the lane to Devin Chang. Stolen down the other way. Williams gets hit as he's going up for the lay-in. And now it's going to be a 2-shot opportunity for Maurice Williams to potentially give Dwight Morrow back the lead with 3:12 left to go in regulation. Christian Bruden was the Fort Lee Bridgman player charged with the foul, his second, team's third. Maurice Williams 2 of 3 at the line here tonight. Silky smooth on that delivery. He's got 21. Williams not knocked off his game at all by the whistling of the Fort Lee fans. 55-53, Dwight Morrow back in front. Devin Chang, step back 3, short. Vickers, offensive rebound inside, stripped away cleanly. Thenor doing a good job of forcing that out of bounds while not committing the foul. And a timeout's going to be taken by Andre Hampton as he wants to talk things over with his defense. 2:58 left to go in regulation. And it's anyone's game right now. Dwight Morrow leading by 2, 55-53. What's next for both teams after this game? For Dwight Morrow, they will head home on January 18th to host Pascack Valley, while Fort Lee will travel to Pascack Hills on January 18th. The Bridgmen will be back home on Sunday the 21st to take on Cresskill. And that's going to be an action-packed day of basketball as we will have you covered for 5 games on January 21st this Sunday. 5 different games, all for free here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel, including the 3rd game of the day featuring that matchup of Cresskill and Fort Lee. So if you want to watch some great basketball coverage on Sunday, a showcase event just before the Bergen County Jamboree is seated, make sure to tune in on Sunday here on YouTube. Devin Chang pulled up at the foul line, did not unleash the shot. Greenberg. Max dribbling it up. Down the middle lane, nearly collided with Jacob. Now up top to Devin Jang, trying to get a little separation. Jab step with 2:40 left to go in regulation. On the block, here's Vickers. Williams behind him. Vickers, beautiful post move, just couldn't get it to fall though. Ball squirts free. Dwight Morrow gets it to the open man in Elijah Thenor. 2:20 and counting left to go. 2-point lead for Dwight Morrow. Dwight Morrow in no rush right now, just operating close to midcourt. Fort Lee's got to extend their defense a bit here. Fort Lee does not need to foul. They're down by 2, but they don't need to foul. They could send a double team, try to force the pressure a bit. Here comes the double team, but then a foul whistled against Greenberg. That'll be the 4th team foul, so no longer any fouls to give for the Bridgemen. For Max, that is his 2nd personal foul. 4th team foul. So now Fort Lee's going to have to foul. Try to put the pressure on. Thenor trying to cross up on Bruden. Pressure inside. A lot of contact and a traveling call. Wow. Referee swallowed the whistle that time, and it looked like that was a good open field tackle for Fort Lee. No foul underneath the hoop. Generous no call for the Bridgemen. Approaching the final 90 seconds of regulation. Fort Lee down a bucket, 55-53. Jang nearly lost it. Damani Williams was gambling. Here's Jacob Greenberg out to Christian Bruden, and Bruden shuffles the feet, gets called for the travel as he was trying to go right down the middle of the lane. Now Fort Lee's got to go for a turnover or at least get a foul. 1:19 left to go. Pass down the floor to Howell. Again, the next foul would send Dwight Morrow to the foul line, shooting 2. Maroon Raiders just playing a game of keep away right now. Thenor getting it over to Howell. Fort Lee in no rush. Howell nearly turned it over himself. Looks for an outlet. Coach Schrager thought that he stepped out of bounds. Maxwell was short on the layup attempt and a late whistle. And is this going to be a foul coming up against Fort Lee with 51.9 seconds left to go here in the 4th? It is a foul against the Bridgemen. So after all of that, on the missed shot by Dwight Morrow, there was contact underneath, and that foul will be charged against Jacob Greenberg, his 2nd, team's 5th. That'll send E.J. Maxwell, the sophomore, to the line, shooting 2. Maxwell with 6 points on the night. Missing on the first foul shot. Keeps this game only a 2-point margin. Means that it will still be just a 1-possession game no matter what happens here. 51.9 seconds left. Maxwell missed a pair. Rebounded by Jacob Greenberg. Proved to be a great foul there, administered by Jacob. Still remains a 2-point game. Adam Schrager calls for the timeout. 45.2 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Fort Lee try to protect this house and trying to come away with a thrilling victory late here against Dwight Morrow in a game that might have some serious playoff implications on the line for the Bridgemen if they could pull off this victory here at home against Dwight Morrow. Again, if you're just joining us, Devin Jang with a game-high 22 points for the Bridgemen. Maurice Williams with a game-high 22 for Dwight Morrow. They both have been sensational for their respective teams. Guy Vickers has poured in 16 points. Fort Lee has been playing the majority of this 4th quarter without the services of Isaiah Valdez after he fouled out with just about 6.5 minutes left to go in this game. Courtney Howell has been great as an on-ball defender for Dwight Morrow. He's the 2nd leading scorer for the Maroon Raiders with 8 points in the game as well. Fort Lee has been able to knock in some 3-point shots here tonight. Devin Jang, 4 of the 3 3-pointers for this game for Fort Lee. You'd have to think you're going to be trying to get it in his hands. or at least trying to establish the post presence of Guy Vickers underneath. He's been drawing countless number of fouls, but that's all for naught. A steal out of the inbounds. So Fort Lee called for a timeout and then a steal immediately, and Dwight Morrow will now head to the foul line to shoot a pair. And all Coach Schrager can do is have his back to the court and talk things over with his assistant. A steal off the inbounds, and Fort Lee not even able to run a play to see if they could tie or take the lead. We're going to hope for more missed foul shots. The Nor now at the line. First foul shots of the night for him, and he's no good. Dwight Morrow is keeping this door wide open for the Bridgemen. Again, even if he makes this second shot, this would still be a one-possession game. The Nor makes that one. 6 points on the night. 3-point margin. Devin Jang with it. If you're Dwight Morrow, do you elect to foul here to prevent even a three-point shot opportunity? Jang getting bumped a lot there by Damani Williams. 25 seconds left to go in regulation. Jang doesn't need that much space. Kick out. Here's a three-point shot straight away. Deadened off the back of the rim. Fort Lee's got a foul. Deflected out of bounds off of Vickers. And now it's going to be an inbound upcoming for the Maroon Raiders with 14.2 seconds left to go. And it looks like it's also going to be a timeout taken. Fort Lee got the three-point shot they were looking for, this time out of the hands of Nave Murray. Murray already has 1-3 in this game. Had a good look at it. Just deadened in the back of the rim. And now Dwight Morrow will just have to keep this ball in bounds. If they get fouled, they just have to find a way to convert on their foul shots. And they'll walk out of here with a road victory under their belts and move to 3-1 in league play. And bounce back after their loss last night in Patterson. Fort Lee needs desperately to force a turnover. That would be the best case scenario. And get an opportunity maybe in the quick bucket, or get an opportunity just to take a shot and tie it up from three. Inbound into the corner, into the hands of Xavier Hunt. Hunt is fouled, and Hunt will make the stroll and make his way down the other side of the floor. Trying to seal this game if he can knock down a couple of foul shots. Hunt does knock down the first foul shot. His first point since the second quarter. He's got 7 points off the bench. Hunt is perfect on both foul shots, trying to ice this game. 5-point lead now for Dwight Morrow, 58-53. 13 seconds left to go in regulation. Greenberg trying to tip it forward. It's stolen away. Dwight Morrow's Maurice Williams will come away with it. And a foul's going to be administered by Jacob Greenberg, but too little too late. And Dwight Morrow will hold on here. Fort Lee was so close to pulling off the upset here, but the Maroon Raiders had the finishing power. And Maurice Williams trying to build on his 22-point performance here this evening, here at East Gym. Big man has shown off a nice touch at the foul line this evening. 5 of 6 from the foul line, including knocking in 4 in a row. Williams with a 24-point performance on the road. 60-53. Devin Jang fires from 3, no good. Vickers will tap it in. Will finish up the scoring for Fort Lee, as he'll finish with 18 points in a losing effort. Final score, Dwight Morrow 60 at Fort Lee 55. As with the win, Dwight Morrow will go to 8-4 on the season, 3-1 in league play in the Big North American Division. With the defeat, Fort Lee will fall to 4-9 this winter and 1-3 in league action. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage here. Again, we'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, the law office of Mark J. Sokolich, and Fort Lee SC. I'd like to thank our broadcast crew, led by our producer and director, Dimitri Nanis, our camera operator, Renee Matisich, and yours truly has been Dan Long here on this broadcast. Again, it's a kind reminder, join us on Sunday for a jam-packed day of basketball. We'll have 5 different games being played here in front of the Bergen County Jamboree Seating Committee. And we'll be bringing you all the sights and sounds on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Included in that 5-game extravaganza will be Cresskill taking on the Bridgman here at home. So for everybody here from East Gymnasium, I'm Dan Long saying so long, and we'll see you next time here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.